Welcome back, my friends, to another show on Jeremy Knows. Come on in and listen to a breakdown on another collaboration. I don't have my uke with me in my hands, but I'm playing a little ditty for you. Wow, 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 wow. Hi, thanks for joining. I'm streaming on Twitch as well, so thanks for watching this replay. Welcome in everyone on Instagram, Moni, Super, Nika, all the rest. Good to see you. Couple things. I'm going to record a podcast during this live stream, and it's going to be two parts. It's going to be focused on the Wolf Game collaboration, which is an opportunity for a VeeFriends airdrop that is expiring tonight at midnight. And then we'll explore this VeeCon surprise that Gary has been teasing today. It hasn't played out just yet, but I'll speculate a little bit on like what I think it might mean and hopefully push this out fast enough for you to be prepared for it. So I'm going to my podcast recorder. Let me just share my screen really quick with Twitch. And I want to just like preface, I'll say this in the podcast as well, but I just want to preface for everyone that I did not do the best job in communicating what was going on with Wolf Games and like all of the facets of it. And so I wanted to put out a part two before the deadline, but also just to make sure that anybody who's considering it has all the information. So it's going to be a little bit of a riff. Hopefully my one take wonder gift of gab serves me today, and we'll see how it goes. So good morning, good evening, and welcome back to the Jeremy Knows podcast. I am your host, Jeremy, the Heart Trooper number 7, and today we have two main items to discuss. The lion's share of this podcast is going to be dedicated to the Wolf Game VeeFriends collaboration with the Shrewd Sheep character. I've broken this down in a previous podcast. There's some new information that I want you to know, but furthermore, there was a robust discussion in one of the community clubhouses today about the ethics of Wolf Game and certain considerations that people should have before they are just throwing their money at a VeeFriends opportunity. So I want to provide you a little bit more of that well-rounded context as you make your decision. You have until midnight, 11:59 p.m. today, Valentine's Day, to stake into either the AJV or JMO pack if you're interested in that. And so hopefully this will provide you the information you need to decide to do it or not. And then for the second bit, Gary has been teasing a VeeCon surprise. He tweeted about it a day or two ago, then told us it would be today. And now he's saying there's something that's going to make book game token holders faint. So we'll break down what that hint was and what it may mean. So if you're here just for the VeeCon stuff, Wolf Games of no interest to you, I would jump forward 10 to 12 minutes. And as always, remember, you can listen to the podcast at 1.5 speed, and I give you a money-back guarantee that my diction will hold up. So if you're looking to save time, that may serve you. Otherwise, sit back, relax. Welcome back to the show. 2-minute intro, not so bad. Okay. So to begin, let's just review what the collaboration is between the Shrewd Sheep from VeeFriends and the Wolf Game, because this is not a collaboration between the Wolf Game project, but rather a collaboration between the Shrewd Sheep character of VeeFriends and Gary Vaynerchuk's Alpha Wolves. I said in my podcast yesterday that I only know what I need to know regarding this game, and I feel like that was irresponsible, and some ethics considerations were brought forward to me that I want to share with you so that we can all make our individual decisions. And I really do mean that. You know, me sharing this opportunity with you is because it's VeeFriends news. It is not financial advice. I do not know if there will be a financial return and all of the risk. There is risk involved in all of these things. So returning to it, before the full launch of the Wolf Game project, there is this interim game called the Alpha Game, in which the Alpha Wolves, which are the most rare version of Wolf NFTs within the Wolf Game ecosystem, have domain over their own kingdom. And so if you do not hold an alpha wolf, your avenue to participate in the game is by staking wolf game assets into various kingdoms. You can stake sheep tokens, wolf tokens, or the in-game currency of wool. And for doing this, there are some mathematical equations that are broken down in their white paper that you provide points to the team that you're staked in, and in return, you receive more of the in-game currency called wool. So in a very basic sense, by staking either of these assets, wolf, sheep, or wool, should you remain staked until the end of the alpha game, at the end of it, you'll receive your asset back and you'll receive an NFT called a wool pouch, which contains a certain amount of wool, ERC20. So this is actually an ERC20 wrapped within an ERC721 called the wool pouch. And over time, it distributes that wool into your wallet. So let's say during the staking period, you've earned some 20,000 wool. You don't get to cash that out immediately once the alpha game is done. It will be distributed from that NFT over the course of like 18 to 24 months. And now you can sell the wool pouch as the NFT that it is, or you can hold it and receive this wool over time. Now, every alpha wolf has their own kingdom. And it so happens that as the degen that Gary Vee is related to Wolf Game, because he got in when it first hit the market, he bought 2 of these alpha wolves. And one thing that I want to draw attention to regarding the ethics questions for everyone is Gary's comments within the Wolf Game Discord. So there was some hesitation and criticism about this collaboration for a few reasons. And I won't be able to name them all. Like I said, it was a robust conversation, but I want people to be aware of a few things. And one of the big red flags for people, or at least a warning flag, was that neither any VeeFriend social channel, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, Discord, none of them mentioned this collaboration, nor has Gary Vee retweeted the announcement which was made. So on January 30th, AJ Vaynerchuk, who is running Gary's Alpha Kingdom, I'm jumping around a bit. So let me simplify. Gary has these 2 alpha wolves. In order to play the alpha game, you have to actually do things, but Gary doesn't have time to do so. So you can actually track. I would encourage you to go to the Wolf Game Discord, search for Gary Vee. You can see where he's chatting in the general chat, and he says, for example, he's speaking to AJV in a few hours to convince him to help him because I'm busy as balls, but I want to win this shit. He's very excited. He says that AJ always beats him in Catan. He even joked that he hired an expert in Settlers of Catan to play this game. I'm not going to read you all of his messages in the Discord, but there's a few that sort of bring clarity to the fact that like this didn't happen overnight and this was planned. This is an official collaboration. Doesn't excuse necessarily everything, but just so that we're looking at the full context of things. And I promise that by the end of this spiel, I will return to exactly what you need to do should you want to participate in this airdrop. So furthermore, Gary is chatting in and he shares that he has 2 Alpha 8 wolves, and that he's given one to AJ Vaynerchuk, his brother, and another to JMO, who is a dear friend of his, what he calls his right hand and the head of investment at VaynerMedia. So he's given these king wolves of separate alpha kingdoms to his brother and his right hand to manage for him while he has to maintain his duties as CEO of VeeFriends and VaynerX. And after a little bit longer, he says, some play for the glory, others play for the money. I play for my teammates. And he's just sort of having a lot of fun. He mentions, if you all knew what AJ and John were up to, just saying, this is a week before AJ finally announces with an animated GIF, I always forget if it's GIF or GIF. He releases a pixelated animation in the style of the Wolf Game art that says, breaking news. The Vayner Empire and its 2 kingdoms have entered into an agreement with the Shrewd Sheep, more details to come. And it shows a door with VF for V Friends. From it, like an evolving Pokemon, the Shrewd Sheep comes forward, and then a pixelated Gary peeks out from the side and blinks. The sheep comes over to the alpha wolf, the red fur alpha wolf, and we see this animation of this signing of a contract. So the collaboration is not between VeeFriends in whole and Wolf Game in whole. It's between the Shrewd Sheep character from VeeFriends and the Vayner Empire, the two alpha kingdoms in the alpha game that are affiliated. And it's really interesting after this was announced, after AJ sends the tweet, Gary linked it in the Discord. He's just said, "Oh, welp." It's one question I have for Gary. When I do finally get to in the aspirational event, which I get to interview Gary Vee, I can't wait to ask him, what does he mean when he says whelp? Because he says that often. But anyway, one of the things he said about this airdrop is and he said this just today, actually. He said, the best part is I control minis long term, referring to VeeFriends mini drops. I don't control anything Wolf Game. Thus, I like the fun and I love I am giving my friends crew. He also today said loyalty is fun and reminded the server that the deadline was midnight tonight. But even earlier, he was in the Discord affirming that this is a real collaboration. He says, pay attention. Watching like a wolf is my new favorite pastime. A wolf's memory runs long. A human's competitiveness sees no boundaries. Make wise decisions, my sheep. He says, Team AJ matters beyond Wolf Game. Remember, I said it. And he's dropping GIFs. Like, he's having fun with this. Then the last thing that he said before today was, many will underestimate this. And furthermore, when you love someone, you take a picture on Valentine's Day, ... before midnight, of course, and left an emoji of the Shrewd Sheep and a heart, sort of suggesting that there is that it is not a mistake that this snapshot is happening on Valentine's Day and that there's an element of love involved in whatever the generative art related to this airdrop will be. Now, all of that is really great and does, at least in my view, balance some of the, I think, valid criticism of like, why haven't we seen in the VeeFriends Discord or on Gary Vee's socials a mention of this collaboration? He's mentioning it in this server. That's great. But there are a couple other things regarding Wolf Game that may cross an ethical line for you, and you should be aware. And there's one risk related to playing the game that people should also be aware of. So regarding the ethics, and this is not all of it, please do your own research, read the white paper, get involved if you're planning to do this. If you're going to stake Wolf, for example, you're buying the in-game currency for Wolf Game. And there is some debate about whether or not Wolf Game is a legitimate project, if it is just a scam or a rug in the making. And the large reason for that is because the Shepherd, who is the developer and founder, is an anonymous character within the space. They have not doxed themselves. And although there is not a direct causality of anonymous founders leading to rugs, we can see that there is a higher probability and a higher propensity for rugs to have come from founders who are using either anonymous handles or fake identities. And so this is a reasonable yellow flag for people. And for some, it is a full-on red flag that they will not invest in projects that are not run by doxed founders. So be aware of that. Furthermore, from an ethical point of view, there is questioning about Beanie's involvement in this project and whether, and you should be aware that I have not been able to confirm and deduce exactly what Beanie's involvement is at this time. And if you're not familiar with Beanie, who he is in the space, or why this would be an ethical concern in the first place, you can search it on Twitter. He's a very controversial figure and ultimately was revealed to be a blatant con artist and conned many, many people, and has since basically disappeared and been extricated. I haven't seen him for weeks since that expose. So when Wolf Game was launched, he was talking about it, running Twitter spaces about it, and voiced that he consulted on the project. He also minted the project. I don't have any information to suggest that he's receiving royalties from this project or if he's on board. And I don't know if he was paid for that consultation, although I presume that he was. But for some people, regardless of, and maybe for you, regardless of the involvement, the fact that they, meaning Wolf Game, decided to partner with Beanie in any capacity is enough of a red flag to not participate. I want you to understand that there are basically two ways to participate in this airdrop. One provides added value to the either kingdom that you're staked in, and the alternative provides, and that first option provides value to you and the kingdoms that you're staked in. The other option provides value just to you. And I think from the point of view of JMO and AJ and Gary would be seen like kind of as a bad actor thing, but it does also minimize the risk. So what do I mean? The way to qualify for this airdrop is based on a snapshot of those wallets that are staked in specifically the AJV or the Johnny Mo Kingdom by midnight tonight. So midnight on February 15th. And there is an FAQ that they've typed up, and I'll review some of the details of this after I give you the general details. And I'll link it in the podcast notes. So you have to have either a wolf, a sheep, or 20,000 wool staked into either kingdom at midnight tonight, and you qualify for the airdrop. Now, I asked JMO on Twitter, why are we not seeing more volume and marketing for this from Gary Vee? And one of his answers was it reduces bad actors who bring in a lot of staking volume just for the snapshot and then unstake their contribution, claim the airdrop, but don't actually support the campaign. So it's important to understand that let me back up. It's important to understand that should you stake in the alpha game and see your stake through to the end of the alpha game, you will receive three things in return. You will receive your liquid asset, either your wolf, sheep, or your wool. You will receive a wool pouch, the ERC 721 NFT that I told you about, that slowly distributes wool with however much wool you've earned in staking rewards. Should you stake today, you'll earn somewhere between 15 to 20,000 more wool. So you'll receive those two things, which are within the game. But then by doing this before midnight tonight, you'll also qualify for this VeeFriends mini drop NFT. And it is guaranteed. This is a VeeFriends branded direct collaboration, Shrewd Sheep to the Gary Vee Alpha Wolves NFT. And it more likely than not will be deployed from the VeeFriends mini drops collection. And so in and of itself, that is valuable. You know, when I first talked about this, it was about 1.2 ETH. Based on market fluctuations, it's about 1.4 ETH now. And the volatility of those currencies is your risk involved here, should you decide to stake until the end of the alpha game. It's important to note that there is not currently an end to the alpha game. I was under the false impression that it ended the first week of March, but the date has not yet been set. And my understanding is because the full Wolf game is going to launch sometime near the end of Q1, early Q2. So right around that March, April time. And this alpha game is meant to carry until that point and provide players with more in-game currency in the form of wool so that they can do well within the game, right? But what that means is you'll be staking this should you choose to see the stake through and earn those three rewards, which I said, your liquid wool, your wool pouch, and your airdrop. You will have to stake until the end of the alpha game. And we don't know when that is. We suspect it'll be March, April, but it could be later. On the alternative side, what is not behavior that JMO and AJ want, but inevitably people will do it, is you can stake tonight, and then after the snapshot has been taken of eligible wallets, you can unstake your wool or your sheep or wolf, and you can trade it back to ETH, however you need, whatever you want to do. Understand that there is a risk involved with this. You will not lose your original staked assets. But if you unstake either after the snapshot or any time before the end of the alpha game, you will reset your wool pouch rewards. So let's say over a couple of weeks, you've accumulated some 10,000 wool in your wool pouch to be distributed at the end of the alpha game. But before the end, you unstake. Now you'll receive your asset back. You still qualify for the airdrop, but you will not receive your wool pouch. You can verify everything that I'm saying if you go to wolf.game, which I will link in the podcast show notes. Go to the alpha game white paper, and all of this is there. And so inevitably there will be bad actors who swap their ETH to wool, stake it into the AJV or JMO alpha camp, wait for the snapshot, unstake it, and swap back to ETH, and end up paying some 0.1 Ethereum in gas for the swapping, staking, and unstaking in order to be eligible for this airdrop and provide very little value to the kingdom. However, it is the blockchain. You are in charge of your own assets. You can do whatever you want. I'm just giving you the full picture, and I'm not suggesting you do one thing or the other. I personally have staked 20,000 wool into AJ's camp, and I plan to leave it there and see what happens. Wool has shown itself to be a relatively stable asset, although the market cap is very low and it is very volatile. So again, your risk in this for your initial staked investment is more so on the volatility of the value of currencies, specifically wool and Ethereum, rather than the chance that you might lose it from staking or anything else. So I want to be very clear. By staking it, you're not entering yourself into a risky game where your wool can be burnt or stolen or lost or anything like that. And if there's a misconception of that, it's understandable because that was previously an element of prior Wolf games. So I hope all of that was clear. I'm just going to quickly restate that if you want to qualify for the airdrop, you will have to be staking a wolf or a sheep or 20,000 wool by midnight tonight in the proper camps. Check the FAQ, AJV, and it says on the website via Gary V or JMO via Gary V, because in reality, these are Gary V's alpha wolves. You have to do that by midnight tonight. Should you stake to the end of the alpha game, you'll get your initial stake back plus a wool pouch with however much wool you've earned. Plus, you'll be eligible for this VeeFriends branded airdrop that is snapshotted on Valentine's Day. So we'll see what that means. Should you unstake before the end of the Wolf game, you'll get all your original asset back. I'm pausing in the podcast because I got disconnected from Instagram. Forgive me. You'll get your original assets back. You'll still be eligible for the airdrop, but you will not get the wool pouch. A couple things from the FAQ to highlight for people, as I imagine these are commonly asked questions. You can only qualify per wallet up to 2 if you were to stake in both camps. So if you have 40,000 wool, you go 20 in AJ's and 20 in JMO's, then you can get 2 NFTs. You won't be able to get NFTs beyond that unless you wanted to stake from separate wallets. This is eligible for anyone in the space. You don't have to hold a book game token or any kind of version 1 VeeFriend to participate in this. This is open to absolutely everyone. This is happening today, February 14th. You have some 6 to 8 hours to participate in this. And the airdrop is expected to be released within the mini drops collection. And although that hasn't been 100% confirmed, Gary essentially confirmed it today with his chatter in the Wolf Game Discord by saying, I control minis long term. So from his point of view, this is going to be a VeeFriends mini drop. The FAQ, which I will post in the podcast show notes, also has a breakdown of how to swap for wool. The floor on sheep versus the cost of 20K wool has been pretty much in parity for a while. It's relatively the same cost, but your steps are going to be get ETH in your MetaMask, then go to uniswap.org and search wool. You'll see the icon of Wolf Game. It will say wool via CoinMarketCap. You can verify the contract address by checking it on CoinMarketCap. Then you'll swap from ETH to wool. Go to wolf.game, select Alpha Game, select the pack, scroll down, connect your wallet, and it will show you your Wolf Game assets, and you can stake into the selected camp. And you are all set. This is an idle game. Once you've staked, you will be set. And the FAQ also has Discord links to the main Wolf Game Discord and the Vayner Wolf Pack Discord. Again, there are a lot of aspects of this. I just wanted to make sure that everybody understood, number one, the deadline. Number two, some of the ethical concerns that were raised today that may matter to you regarding Beanie's prior and, as of today, yet unknown continued involvement. The fact that this is a project without a doxed founding team or dev team, and the partial risk, the real risk involved related to the volatility of these currencies, and the fact that should you need to unstake before the end, you will sacrifice the wool that you've accumulated by staking. So I'm going to check out some of the comments in the live stream and add those in, as I'm sure they're going to be valuable for everyone. And then we'll address what's going on with VeeCon. So thank you for listening. That was a mouthful. Wow. Okay, nobody's on Twitch. That's fine. Let me see your comments. Let's see. Hello, everybody. 30 people in the house. That's pretty awesome. I'm glad you're enjoying this. Fit Regimen, insights on the book game sale. I'm going to talk about that next. I'll get to that in just a second. The snapshot, Franco, is at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. Do we need to own a Wolf NFT to participate? No, I think I already answered that. What's the process of actually buying and staking this? I would direct you to the FAQ. You can buy it from the official Wolf Game collection, or you can swap for wool. Honest opinion on airdrops. Do you think they will just be a collectible over long term? Yes, but I think they could be more. Or B, keep their worth increase. How do the 24K wool pouches work that we will be rewarded? Okay, so let me answer these questions. What was I can remember these two, but what was this one? All right, so quick FAQ from the Instagram. Number one, the snapshot will occur at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. So make sure you're watching Eastern time when you're going to stake for this. Do you need to own a Wolf NFT to participate? No, you do not. You can stake either a wolf or a sheep or 20,000 wool token. So any one of those three. You cannot stake farmers and you cannot stake land, which are different varieties of NFTs within this ecosystem. It has to be either a character, wolf or sheep, or 20,000 of the currency wool, which you can find on CoinMarketCap and swap in Uniswap. As for the actual process of buying and staking, I would direct you to the FAQ that is linked in the show notes. But essentially, you'll go to Uniswap, swap for wool, and then go to wolf.game, select the proper alpha pack, and then stake. This is a more general opinion question, but I'm going to include it anyway. What is my honest opinion on airdrops? Do I think they will just be a collectible over the long term, or will they keep their worth and increase? This is a very important question because unlike other mini drops that we've seen where the self-aware hair was some 40 or 50 pieces, the gift goats are 555, the Halloween mini drops was 31 tokens. This Wolf Game mini drop could be a collection size of 1,000 or 2,000 or 3,000. We really don't know. And I don't expect this to come with utility promised, but remember what Gary said just today, and I will read it for you, quote, "The best part is I control minis long term." So is there going to be some kind of mini drops activation for these Wolf Game tokens planned in its genesis? Probably not. Does that mean that there isn't a possibility for that in the future? And the answer is also no. It could go either way, but I think people should keep their expectations low, understand this is going to be a collectible with some kind of generative art and related to the Shrewd Sheep character. How do the 24,000 wool pouches work that we will be rewarded? So the way that they work is they are a 721, a unique NFT that you hold in your wallet, and over time they release wool, an ERC20, a fungible ERC20 into your wallet. So essentially, you can imagine that some 10 or 20,000 wool is within this NFT, and every day it releases a little bit, and you'll just see it rack up in your counter of wool. But the distribution period for your wool will be a long period of time. It will be like the better part of a year for that to distribute. And this allows for the circulating of supply of wool to not get flooded all of a sudden when all of these people who are earning staking rewards now are receiving their wool. They're receiving it in an illiquid form, in a sort of a secondary staked form. You know, this prospect of an NFT which houses ERC20s is innovative in and of itself. It's one of the first, if not the first, that we've seen of this technology. And you know, sort of harkening back to the ethics questions is like a lot of people who otherwise would not invest in projects with anonymous founders are investing in Wolfgame because the innovation is so significant. So it's another consideration to consider. Another one, what dictates the amount of wool we earn in the pouch? And that is a function in the white paper that I cannot quote for you off of memory. I think it will be, if you stake before this airdrop snapshot, I think it will be in the range of 15 to 20,000, but it's a factor of time. And if the alpha game goes on for longer, then it will be more. So I would encourage you to read the white paper and see what it is. If you're factoring how big your wool pouch will be, whether or not this is an opportunity for you, then you need to answer that question for yourself. For me, that is not a factor. And I'm more interested in educating you on the risk, not necessarily the reward. So please do your own research in this regard. And the last FAQ that I want to call your attention to is regarding Shrewd Sheep VFriend 1. It is 100% confirmed that should you hold a Shrewd Sheep VF1, probably by midnight tonight, I would imagine the snapshot is happening at the same time, but I can't be 100% sure of that. But whether you hold a core or a spec, you will be receiving this airdrop, period. Whether you're participating in the Wolf game thing, so long as you're holding a Shrewd Sheep, you will benefit from this airdrop. We don't know if you'll get a special airdrop, just any random one. Like, I think there's going to be, I heard on Twitter that there's going to be a generative art aspect of this. So whether they give rarer generations to actual VFriend holders or it's all the same across the board, we don't know. But we do know that Shrewd Sheep holders will get this airdrop. Voila. All right, that's the Wolf game. Now let's speculate on what's this VeeCon surprise. Wool pouch will release a year. Yeah. So there's some math for you. The value of wool will not be static. That's at a current valuation of probably 18 to 20 cents. And here you can go to wolfgame.live/wool pouch. This is a community generated tool to take a sample wool pouch number from one that's on sale on OpenSea, and it will tell you how much wool is released per day, week, month, year. So yes, those FAQs are very, very valuable. Let me just label these podcasts. You're super welcome. And thank you, MSU Pace. All right. So here it is. Now, let me just check really quick if Gary said anything since I've been recording, and he has not. Okay. So, eccoci qua. Eccoci qua. So, today at approximately 12:33. No, I got the time wrong. Hold on, let me start again. And we're off. Today at 12:17 p.m. Eastern Time, Gary made an announcement and he said, "Who wants to go to VeeCon using a small window with book games? Reply yes. Emoji." And then he said, "There's lots going on. Have you ever heard of a burn sale?" He also tweeted this image and said, "Some book games holders are about to faint." Now, just a couple days ago, Gary said that there was something interesting brewing regarding VeeCon and that we would find out about it today. And it seems that it's related to this comment. In a follow-up tweet, he shared a link to the Book Games Exchange where you can burn 13 book game tokens for a ticket to VeeCon, but not just any 13. You have to burn a flush, one of each of the 13 core characters with the same spectacular background. He said, if you want to get to VeeConference, this is the key. Linking to Token Trove. Today, it's 13 tokens needed, and linked to that. Now, if you were going to go and buy these tokens on Token Trove, it would run you nearly 6 Ethereum. And it has effectively set a ceiling for the price that people are willing to pay for these VeeCon tickets, because as of this moment, and let me get you an exact figure, there have been exactly 5 of 1,000 that have been claimed. Now, this comment to me suggests a couple of things. And again, it hasn't played out yet. So if you are looking for a burn sale on a VeeCon ticket, I would certainly pay attention, turn on notifications for his Twitter, and watch the Discord. Here's what I'm thinking is that with the current cost being these 13 tokens, you have to have one of each. So gratitude and conviction takes your cost base up to 3 ETH already, with the rest up to 6 ETH. But recognize that that's the market price, that the buy now market price. But most things in the exchange, the value of book game tokens is treated equally at roughly 0.1 ETH. So really the exchange value that they're asking for is closer to 1.3 ETH per VeeCon ticket. But the fair market price at the moment is up to 6 ETH. I think they're recognizing that that is not going to drive demand because the price is too high, and that there's going to be a limited time offer where you can burn perhaps any 13 tokens, perhaps a fewer number of tokens to get VeeCon tickets. So Gary hasn't confirmed this just yet, but it does sound like two things could happen: that they could reduce the book games exchange cost, or that they may just burn a bunch of these tickets. Now, I want to be clear with people because I've seen some confusion on this. And I should say as well, everything is subject to change. Gary can change his mind at any time. But a couple of things. Number one, the artwork for these VeeCon tickets in the Book Games Exchange is a placeholder. It does not represent the artwork that we will see on the eventual NFT that is airdropped to version 1 holders. If you exchange for this VeeCon ticket, you will not receive the NFT until all VFriend holders receive them. At the time that those NFTs are distributed to VFriend 1 holders, people who exchange within the Book Games Exchange will also get one. Next, there is a Go ticket on this placeholder image because the access to VeeCon here is coming from the tokens that Gary holds himself, his Go tokens. However, Gary has said that there is no benefit in access or utility for Go holders at VeeCon. And he said this regarding people holding any Goes, not necessarily his Goes, but whether you're a core holder or a spec holder, a Go or a non-Go, it seems that there will not be a distinction shown in the artwork, the access, or the utility for these VeeCon tickets. So I want to be very clear. If you're looking to exchange for this and thinking that the added cost is because you get added benefit at VeeCon, that has not been confirmed. And in fact, it has been in no uncertain terms denied, although there is the possibility that Gary will change his mind. But he has confirmed that specs are not getting special tickets and goes do not get special privileges at VeeCon. One more kind of fun fact about this is with all of these, you have to burn a matching set, what's being referred to as a flush, one of each of the 13 characters with matching backgrounds. And so there are 200 gold, diamond, hollow, lava, and bubblegum. The only ones that have been claimed are lava tokens, and there are 5 of them. But if you go to the Book Games Exchange, you will see that there is a total of 15 out of circulation. If you look a little deeper, the team has actually burned 2 of each of these exchangeables, and we really don't know what that means. So the reason I say that is because it will tell you what wallet has exchanged it, and it refers to the burn address, the Ethereum standard burn address 0x00000000000000. And it says there's an exchange by that address. Now, I find it hard to believe that Gary would burn his VeeCon access for no reason when he can give it to celebrities and guests and speakers and musicians and other people that are going to be performing at VeeCon. But they've been removed from the exchange. And so there is a possibility that this burn sale, where he is offering an exchange of book game tokens for VeeCon tickets, does, yes, involve a discount on the cost, but also is the last offering that those that are not exchanged for during this time are that maybe they'll start to burn these tickets at a higher frequency. We don't know. I wish I could give you a clearer answer. The truth is nobody knows. For the moment, Gary's just asked, are people figuring it out? That was almost 3 hours ago. He said there was a very big hint in his Twitter status and said, if you want to get to VeeCon, there's going to be a small window of a special moment. And that's why I'm thinking that at some point today, Gary's going to come into the Discord and he's going to say, okay, here it is, vfriends.com/VeeCon burn. And there's going to be like a 90-minute window where you can exchange for VeeCon tickets for 3 matching tokens, or maybe it'll be a very specific, you need like 2 diamond pearl curiosities, and you can exchange for the VeeCon tickets. Yeah, Make It Money just suggested 5:55 p.m. perhaps, and that anything that isn't claimed in that period, or a certain amount, if not all, will be burned from the ones available through the Book Games Exchange. As always, I don't speak for Gary Vee. I'm not affiliated with VeeFriends. I use all the same public information available to any one of us through Twitter, Discord, Instagram, and the blockchain to come to my opinions, my speculations, and the information that I hope to share with you in an accurate fashion. None of what I said was financial advice. This is all for educational and entertainment purposes only. I hope you have found it helpful. I hope that at the very least, you're healthy and satisfied with today's episode. So there you have it. This has been a return to the Wolf Games collaboration and a bit of insight as to things you might want to consider ethically before participating in Wolf Game and what it means for you should you want to participate, and how long you might need to be staked. Some real considerations. If you skipped over it, you didn't really hear the requirements of staking in the Wolf Game, then maybe that opportunity is not for you and you should be doing your own research. I'm not going to tell you how to live your life. You can do things as recklessly as you want. But if you didn't hear the fact that you have to remain staked for an unknown amount of time to get the full benefit of the Wool Pouch, that is something that I didn't know, and honestly changes the way that I view that investment. But you can unstake at any time and sacrifice those staking rewards. So back to it. This has been a breakdown, a more well-rounded view of the Wolf Game collab airdrop opportunity with the Shrewd Sheep and the Vayner Empire, and an early speculation at what the VeeCon surprise is and the coming burn sale. Thank you so much for listening to the Jeremy Knows Podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, the Heart Trooper number 7, and I will see you tomorrow. I think it was a good one. It was a good one. It got a little long, but I think it was a good one. Oops. Forgot I was sharing my screen. Ding, 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 ding. Yes, Jose, I see you on Twitch, and it is EST. Yes. Um, why won't you let me into Discord? But why? But why? Here we go. Yeah, thanks. I don't know why. I just happened to see this beret today, and I was like, I think it's a beret day. Why not? Um, Good stuff. Thank you for tuning in. I hope that that was helpful. By all means, make your own decisions, and I will see you tomorrow. Any last minute questions? Anything that wasn't clear that I can um, clear up while I'm here? Otherwise, I'm going to sign off. I see a lot of people have left, so I'm assuming that questions were answered. I'm going to give you just 1 minute for last minute questions, and then I will carry on. Thanks, bud. Appreciate that. Appreciate that. Can you hear the crickling on my back? Okay. Anyway, seems like everybody's set. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one. Have a great day and peace out. Bye. I'm still on Twitch, aren't I? Hi, everybody. Oh, thanks, Jacob. Appreciate that. I'll see y'all later. Sorry for the long ending. Still getting used to all this. Hope you have a great day, and see you.